This week on Vice, forced labor in Dubai.
The Trump International Golf Club, is that where you worked recently?
Vice correspondent Ben Anderson first reported on slave labor in the United Arab Emirates 8 years ago.
And see what conditions are like on this, which is one of the most high-profile projects in the whole of Dubai.
During a recent investigation, he discovered some of the worst conditions he'd ever seen on a development bearing the name of a man who just might be our next president.
The United Arab Emirates, and Dubai in particular, are often sold as a paradise in the Middle East, home to the world's largest and most luxurious malls, hotels and golf courses, promising unprecedented luxury for the few who can afford it. So this is Sheikh Zayed Road, one of the most famous landmarks in Dubai. Billions and billions of dollars of real estate, and then literally in the shadows of that is this slum. So the hundreds of thousands of men who actually built Dubai, this is where they live. The UAE's record on migrant workers' rights is well known. So we started our investigation by looking at NYU. When they were enticed into Abu Dhabi, they established their own labor standards so that subcontractors building their campus would treat their workers fairly. Those standards were tested when one group of workers went on strike. They lived 2 hours' drive away from the campus site in Dubai. So this is one of the many labor camps in Dubai, and there are just dozens of huge buildings that look like a cross between warehouses and prisons. This is the Dubai that most tourists who come never see. Striking is strictly illegal in the UAE, but these workers eventually felt like they had no other option.
जो 572 there इतने कमती में कोई भी 8 साल 7 साल काम किया है हम लोग गाधा के तरह करते जा रहे हैं.
So can you describe how the company reacted when you went on strike?
4 आइटम का पुलिस आया, पूरा बॉडी काला कपड़ा डालकर आया, पूरा पिस्तौल ये लोग के पास है, मशीन गन है, सब कुछ है, किसी के पास डंडा है. पुलिस तो सबको पकड़ के एक ही जगह में लेके आया था. जब नहीं आ रहा था कुछ इधर-उधर जा रहा था डर के, वो लोग को पकड़ के मारा है. वो लोग बोला कि ऐसे यहाँ पे कानून नहीं है. स्टेक करने का स्टेक करेगा तो तुम लोग को कुछ नहीं मिलेगा करके 3-4 दिन पहले बांग्लादेश में.
Most workers have to take out loans to get to the UAE. Being deported means going home saddled with debt and no way of paying it off. The strike was covered by the New York Times a week before a lavish commencement ceremony featuring former President Bill Clinton, who was forced to address the issue.
When this story came out, the university and the government promised to look into the charges, and if the charges were well-founded, to take appropriate remedial action promptly.
What the government actually did was call the journalist who broke the story in for questioning.
Well, I was told to meet the spokesperson for Abu Dhabi Police in a bar.
You recorded this meeting?
The article in New York Times, it lacks so many professional standards.
After letting him know he was in trouble, they offered a way out.
Sean, I'm a straightforward man. We like to build relationships with some reporters. We are expecting something back from you.
As you can see here in the transcript, the police chief wanted a monthly report. Any foreign journalists who are coming to the UAE, I was to write a report on why they're in the UAE, what their agenda was.
So you'd be spying on foreign journalists as well?
Yes, yeah.
But what happened? You said to them, you're not accepting the offer?
And I said, I listened to it and everything, and then I left the country pretty soon after that, and then when I came back, I was arrested at the airport, and then I was deported.
After commissioning an independent report, NYU admitted real lapses and promised to pay compensation to 10,000 workers. The UAE is run by absolute monarchies, With no freedom of expression and no right to protest or form unions, it's routine to exploit the labourers who are building almost $400 billion worth of construction projects currently underway in Dubai alone. There are roughly 5 million migrant workers in the UAE, making up over half the population. Some of these workers let us into their homes, but to keep them safe, we had to conceal their identities.
So this is 2 buildings with a bit of corrugated iron across the middle. This is the communal kitchen washing area. There's 7 bedrooms with between 15 and 20 workers per room.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
And 5 people waiting outside. So when some people leave, other people come in and take their place on the floor.
They gave us 70 dirham per day. This room we gave 3,200 dirham per month. We are not able to work with another company to make more money. Because we will work with another company, she will be got us and cancel
Cancel visa.
and no entry.
In the next room, we met workers who had similar stories, but were working for a subcontractor building a golf course bearing the name of one of America's leading presidential candidates.
There is a big development called the Trump International Golf Club. Is that where you worked recently? Is this the entrance? When you were at home in Pakistan, what were you told that made you want to come to Dubai?
10 रुपए घंटा मिलेगा आपको, रूम मिलेगा, गैस मिलेगा, 8 घंटे ड्यूटी और 2 घंटा ओवरटाइम मिलेगा, लेकिन हमको नहीं मिला। क्या बनेगा 5 रुपए?
If you could have anything, all you would want is to be promised the 10 dirhams per hour, that's $3 roughly, instead of the 5 dirhams, $1.50 that you are being paid. That's all you ask for. Did you have to pay a visa fee?
4,500.
So at the money you're being paid now, how long will it take you just to pay off the visa fee?
2 साल वास्ते 9 महीने तो पैसे दे 2,000 रुपया।
So that's 2 years' work just to break even. And these men are charged nearly another year's salary for a visa renewal fee. Charging the workers these fees is illegal here in the UAE.
Why don't you just go home if you're not actually making money here?
जो जाएगा वो तो आएगा पैसा दो, हमारे पास होगा तो देगा ना, टिकट के पैसे नहीं क्या करेगा?
And there's another illegal but commonly used tactic for subcontractors to keep the workers in place.
How many of you, when you arrived, had your passports taken away by the company?
Total बंदे पासपोर्ट होने को है।
These workers now find themselves trapped and working on a development which bears both Trump's name and face, helping to sell the $1 million plus homes that will soon be complete. Trump himself came to formally launch the project.
We're building Trump International Golf Club, and it's going to be spectacular right in Dubai, and it's going to be something very, very special.
I visited the same showroom to see how it's now being sold.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. And the golf course is another Trump International Golf Course?
Yeah, we have got Trump.
Does he just give his name to the development, or is he involved in...
No, it's not his name, but he is a part of it.
Right. So Trump does the bigger villas, the golf course, the clubhouse.
And also all the villas inside in the middle.
Yeah.
It's very big. It will be a community in which you have got everything.
In the UK, sometimes in the newspaper, you read stories about how the labourers who come from India and Pakistan, they get treated very badly.
No.
So it's important for us to know,
No, at all.
So Damak and Trump, they treat them good?
Of course.
Yeah.
We have got millions of projects, and we never had such a problem.
Never had any issues?
No.
Oh, good. We don't want to move in and then 1 year later hear a story about this,
No, at all. You know how many Indians that are coming to Dubai per you cannot imagine. And year after year, it's more and more.
Yeah.
It means that they are happy.
Dr. Nicholas McGeehan of Human Rights Watch has been documenting migrant worker abuse for over a decade. He wasn't surprised by our findings.
Almost everyone we interviewed, they sort of described being promised one thing in their home countries and then arriving and getting a nasty shock.
What happens, yes, is workers sign a contract in wherever, Bangladesh, and they arrive in the UAE, they find that they sign another contract for half what they were promised. Then their passports taken away from them. Then the visa costs and travel costs added on. So very quickly they moved from a situation where they owe double what they thought they owed, and they're paid half of what they expected to be paid. Their passport's gone, and they're bound to the one employer and can't change. So very quickly it starts to look like, in many cases, a trafficking network because of the deception involved in the recruitment. And when they're there, in the worst cases, you actually have workers subjected to forced labour. The workers don't want much. They just want what they were promised, which isn't a whole lot. The system has been built up in such a way that everybody knows they can make money. Nothing to be gained from being ethical. Why would you be ethical when you can make so much money from being unethical and you're never going to be prosecuted for it? The Dubai that's sold to you in tourist brochures and is emblazoned across every building you can see or adverts, it doesn't reflect the actual reality, which is a lot darker.
Trump declined to be interviewed for this piece, but his organisation stated, Trump has licensed its name and brand. Trump does not oversee construction and does not employ or supervise any of the companies or individuals who have been retained to work on the building of the project. Trump has a zero-tolerance policy for unlawful labour practices at any project bearing the Trump name. They instead put the responsibility on Trump's UAE partner, Damac, who told us, Damac does not directly employ any labour on its developments. We contract with third-party construction and other contracting companies. The Trump organisation added that if any labour infractions were proven, they would insist that Damac investigate. So even by the unbelievably low standards of Dubai, the guys living 18 or 21 to a villa are getting treated really, really badly. But just to make sure that the company doing that to them isn't one bad apple, I'm going to follow back a bunch of other buses ferrying workers who are still working on the Trump golf course to see how they're getting treated and see how it compares to the guys we've already met. We followed buses full of workers as they left the site. They drove for miles out of the city and into the desert. Eventually, there wasn't even a road. After a 2-hour drive, they reached their destination. Stuck in the middle of nowhere, this camp was also awful, and we heard many of the same stories.
They're working on the golf course?
Yeah, what?
Akoya and Trump?
Yes.
Yeah.
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਸੈਲਰੀ ਨਾ ਕੀ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੋਈ 850
How many people share this?
Just for one room. One piece.
Ah, so one gas hob with 2 things is for one room.
So this small kitchen serves roughly 150 workers.
Must be very busy in here at dinner time.
Yes.
Just outside the kitchen door was a bathroom that didn't look fit for human beings.
This is shower?
Yes, this is shower.
This is the washing area, bathroom?
Bathroom, yes.
Oh, smell the sewage. Is it better here or Pakistan? Better at home. Can you go home?
No, no. Hello.
Passport's taken?
जी, compliment.
Whatever his stated level of involvement, Trump makes lots of money from licensing his name and brand to projects like this. But while that might be ethically dubious for a businessman, one would think it would raise serious questions for a presidential candidate. Meanwhile, the workers in Dubai remain trapped, with no hope that things might change.
This is the circle of the life.
Yeah.
Nobody can oppose them, nobody can resist them. I'm away from my family. I'm missing them. They are missing me.
We have no life. We have no life.
Do you think there's any chance things will improve?
No, never.